Okay, good morning everyone. So I'm playing some Sims today, which I'm really excited about. I just got a bunch of poses and I got the post play to work finally, so I'm gonna be playing around with that. I'm just really excited about that. I'm probably gonna be going on a walk maybe. I don't really know what I'm going to do today. But I'm very excited for whatever it is. I know that tomorrow I'm gonna go and see some friends, so I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I'll keep you updated next thing we do. Okay, so Mom just went to IKEA and bought a dresser for my dad, which is in this box, or just
both.
boxes?
Yeah,
Both of these
boxes.
boxes.
Yep.
So we are going to be building these today.
Yeah.
I've built some IKEA things before.
Yeah, I think me and Cooper may put them together a little bit while you're doing your math homework.
Yeah.
You may help out some, but yeah, you got some math to
If
do.
I finish my math.
But I wanted to, this is a good homeschool moment too, right? And it totally coincidentally, I'm listening to a book that's about product development, right?
Okay.
So you know I do like product development, right?
Yeah.
Like what I do is help build products, computer type products, right? And so the products that I build are data products. So, you know, data visualizations, graphs, dashboards, things that you can look at and see how your product's working and things like that.
Yeah.
And I build those kind of in the education space. So how are students doing? How are teachers doing? What subjects are you doing well in, not doing well in? Where are students struggling? What should they do to do better and things like that, right? So using data to build products to do that, right? So I'm listening to this really good book about how you build good products and how you make good decisions and how you drive people, like what people's behavior is and how you build your products to leverage people's instinctive behavior to use your product more, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I was just listening to today was called the IKEA effect.
IKEA effect.
Right? And it's like IKEA, like this, right? So IKEA has this business model where they have these things set up. So like this whole thing, these two boxes together are a dresser.
Yes.
Right? And so they can have 10 of these dressers, you know, stacked up, and you would have a stack of boxes like this, right? Which is different if you had a 10 of these put together for people to buy. It would take up the huge chunk of this room.
Yeah.
Right? So they save a ton of space, and cats love them.
Yeah.
So they do it to save space. They got a big warehouse with a bunch of furniture in there that they couldn't have in there if they didn't have it, right? But there's this other thing. The IKEA effect is this idea about you care more about stuff that you have to put some work into, right? And so they talked about this little study where they had people that made like little origami cranes, right? And then they talked about how much they were worth at the end. And so if people made one themselves, they valued it more than if you took that same crane and gave it to somebody else who didn't make it and asked them how much they thought it was worth, right?
Yeah.
People putting effort into it makes you care more about it.
Yeah.
And so your IKEA furniture, when you spend the effort to put it together and kind of build it yourself, you kind of have like an affinity for it that's stronger because you put effort into it and you built it.
Yeah.
And so in product development, it is, you know, things, you don't want somebody to have to do a lot of work right up front, but as somebody is using your product, if they have to put a little bit of effort into it to master it, to like learn how to use it, like Photoshop is kind of one of the things you can talk about, that if you spend a lot of time in Premiere, like editing in Premiere, and you're comfortable with it, and you've put effort into it, and you've mastered it, and you've done work to know how to use it, then you're less likely to switch over and use Final Cut.
Because you've already put your effort.
Yeah, you've already sunk that effort into it, right? And there's also like the idea that if you, like with, let's say like DeviantArt or with Tumblr, or whatever, like where you're posting a lot of content, then you're putting effort into it and putting your information into it, and you're a lot less likely to switch over to something else because you've put all this data in it and all these resources into it, and if you switch somewhere else, you either lose that or you have to go through all the work of moving it over and stuff. And so the IKEA effect is this idea that if you put work into a product, then you care more about it. And so when you're developing products, you have to think about that, because most of the time you're thinking about how do I make it simple, how do I make it simple, what's the simplest way somebody can do what they need to do. But sometimes you actually have to think about, if you want to do like behavioral psychology, what areas can I make people put a little bit of effort into using the product that makes them feel more attached to it.
Yeah, because like I just realized when we were talking about this, I'm overly attached to the like 2 different art programs that we use, and one I use for 3D posing of Minecraft characters, and the other I use for just flat out drawing. I use Paint Tool Sci. And the more I use Paint Tool Sci, the less I want to draw in Photoshop, and the more I want to do all my work in Paint Tool Sci, just because I feel I'm comfortable with it and I know most of the key shortcuts. And I
Yeah, like your competency, right? You've sunk a lot of effort into learning how to master that software.
Yeah.
And that is called stickiness. Like
Sticky.
your affinity for that software. It's harder for you to leave. You're stuck to that software.
Yeah.
It's harder for you to leave and go somewhere else because you put some effort in.
Yeah, and that's why I have an issue with, we went through this thing where we upgraded art programs for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Where you
Oh,
would
yeah.
buy, I would have a free art program and
Right.
I'd get a better free art program and
Right.
then I'd get a little bit of an expensive one.
And
then
you've
I'd
spent
get the
effort
next
and
one.
you have to keep redoing that effort.
I know, and I have to keep learning it. Like, luckily, most art programs are fairly similar, just with a couple of different touches. Like,
Right.
the blur tool in
Yeah.
Psy is way more than
But like the
another
IKEA effect itself is more about like caring more about something or valuing something more because you put effort into it.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's a little bit different thing that you've mastered something and you don't want to have to remaster something else, right? But like you care about this thing, and Paint Tool Sai is kind of that too. Like you like Paint Tool Sai. When somebody asks what software you like for drawing, you sort of say Paint Tool Sai, and part of that is because you've put a lot of effort into it, and you want that to be like people don't like to think that their effort has been wasted.
Yeah.
And so your brain sort of tells you, oh, I've spent a lot of time using Paint Tool Sai, and I don't waste my time, so it must be a good piece of software.
Yeah.
Right? Like you sort of trick it, I mean it is, right? But you sort of trick yourself into saying, oh, I'm not an idiot, I wouldn't waste my time on it, so if I've spent a lot of time on it, it must be the best software.
Yeah.
And so when somebody says, what's the best drawing software, you say Paint Tool Sai. And someone who learned to draw and spent all their time in Photoshop would say Photoshop, and somebody who spent all their time in something else would say something else.
Like
And
my friends
yeah.
say, one of my friends who has Fire Alpaca, she would.
Everybody will almost always say the software that they use is the best software, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily because they've compared it against everything else. It's because they've spent a lot of time on it,
Yeah.
and like just your psychology tells you, I don't waste my time, so this must be the best software because I spent all my time on it, right?
And that's how going to IKEA turned into a psychology lesson.
Yes, this is exactly how homeschooling works, right? I happened to listen to this today, and you were here, so yeah, I think Cooper and I are going to put this thing together now.
Yes.
Yeah?
Maybe Domino will help.
Maybe Domino will get in the way.
Yeah.
All right, go do your math.
Okay, so it's getting pretty late. I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed in a couple minutes. I'm probably gonna start on storyboarding a little bit, which I'm very excited for, as well as I'm gonna be working on some new panels for the webcomic. So there'll be a new page posted tomorrow. And yeah, I'm just really excited to have my tablet back so I can get everything underway, like I said like so many times. But yeah, today was rather a normal day. There was just some homeschool lessons. There was a really cool, focus. We got to build something from IKEA. But yeah, today was just a pretty normal day, and I find that really nice considering, considering our life is very chaotic and we have a lot of stuff going on a lot. But yeah, I might be going and seeing some friends tomorrow, which I'm really excited about. And then the next day, I'm gonna go to my homeschool enrichment, and I'm gonna have writing club, so I'm gonna probably write a little bit too. But yeah, I'm just super excited, and yeah, I'll see you guys. I'm gonna take you guys along with me tomorrow, probably not to the friend thing, because I don't know if all of them are comfortable with being on the vlog. But yeah, otherwise, super nice day. I enjoyed it a lot. We've been trying out a new homeschooling schedule, which I've been really enjoying. We've been doing it for the past couple of days, and I've really been enjoying it because I have to manage my own time. And like I said in my planner video, I'm really bad, or in my alley tag video, yeah. I'm really bad at managing my own time. I'm trying to get better at it this year, so this has definitely been a really fun exercise, and I've been really enjoying kind of controlling what I do with my time and suffering the consequences if I don't do it very well. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!